I'm trying to film, but someone's taken my seat. So if I'm sat really strangely, now you know why. But I'm gonna get started. So today I want to do my first knitting podcast, and I have been really nervous about doing one of these because I'm not very confident in my knitting abilities, but it's just getting to a point where I'm running out of people to talk to knitting about. My poor fiance has to listen to me talking about knitting all the time, and I also love talking about knitting to my friends, but it's at this point, after like a year into me knitting, it's become something I think about constantly and just want to talk about all the time. So I was like, what better way to talk about knitting and also just like document what I've made and how far I've come. Like, I'm sure this will be so nice to look back on, than a knitting podcast. So I have decided to do my first one today. Finally, I have worked up the courage to do one. I don't know how well me sitting on the edge of this seat is gonna work. So to start with, I'm going to talk about what I'm wearing. I didn't make it, but I just quickly wanted to talk about it because it's so lovely. It's not even actually knitted, it's been crocheted, and my dad commissioned myself and my sister these cardigans. I just wanted to be really cozy today, and that's why I've worn it. I'll stand up maybe so you can see it a bit better. It's lovely. It's just got these wide sleeves. It's not got any like buttons or anything, so it's super easy to wear and super comfy to wear. I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna be like, what am I doing? Why am I sitting on the edge of my seat? You can probably also hear her sighing because she's not very happy with this either. Yeah, so my lovely dad commissioned myself and my sister these crocheted cardigans. This is my favorite color. It's green and it's just so beautiful, and I couldn't think of a better thing to wear today on this lovely lazy day at home. I feel like I need to show you what I'm working with. This is what I'm working with. She is so silly, and I completely let her do this to me, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So I'm just gonna start with my finished objects now because I don't really have much more to say about this. I don't really know how it was made or anything other than it's lovely and it's green. I've got 3 finished objects today, and I've got a lot of whips, so I should get going. I'm just gonna start. So I finished all of these things that I'm about to show you within the past 2 months. It's not been really quick or anything. this is my first one, so I'm just showing you everything I've finished from October onwards. So to begin with, I've got my Robinson wrap cardigan, and I appreciate this is not going to be the easiest to show like this, so I will put in some pictures of me wearing it. But this is like the first proper garment that I ever finished, and it couldn't have gone better. So I knitted this up in the Knitting for Olive Merino and soft silk mohair, both in the shade soft blue. I purchased the yarn at Beautiful Knitters in London, and I basically just held up lots of different yarn, like lots of different colours of yarn up to my face, just to see what kind of suited me best. And me and my fiance settled on this. We thought this was a really lovely colour. I should also mention he bought the yarn for me, which I'm so thankful for. He just offered to get me the yarn for this, and he's totally enabled me to become the knitter I am today, because he just gets me yarn and knitting needles, and I'm very lucky. But yeah, this is it. I couldn't be happier. I wear this all the time. I wear it to work, I wear it like out with my friends. It's just really gorgeous. It's just a wrap cardigan, and if you've not already made this, I would definitely recommend it, because as a relatively new knitter who hadn't really made, I'd probably made like 3 or 4 things before this, the instructions were really easy to follow, and since purchasing this pattern I've gone ahead and I've purchased loads of her other patterns as well, because the way she writes patterns, her designs, did I say who's by? It's by Florence Miller, the Robinson wrap cardigan. The way she writes her patterns are so well written. I really enjoy her writing style, and I just know I've now purchased 4 of her patterns, and I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm sure of it. Yeah, the construction was like you just like knit the yoke and then you do increases for the front and everything, but it was so straightforward and painless. It's just a really nice finish, it's a really nice detail, and I saw a lot of people were struggling with it puckering, but I've not had any issues like that. I think if you do make this and you're worried about that, because yeah, I just saw loads of people in Ravelry had struggled with that, and also on Instagram, but just make sure your rate of picking up stitches is correct. If it starts puckering when you've picked up the stitches, you've done it wrong, unfortunately, and that's what I realized. So if it doesn't look right when you pick it up, just pick them up again until it does look right. But so it has these I-cord ties, and these were also so fun and so easy to make. They're like really quick, and it just looks like this. You probably can't, there we go. But I would absolutely make another one of these, like I already want to, especially in like a darker color. But yeah, that's my first finished object. I don't know why I'm holding it like that. This is my first finished object. I'm so happy with it. I'm so proud of it, and would highly recommend like anyone who likes how this looks to knit this up. So my next finished object is something I'm also very happy with and super proud of. I think when I started knitting, I was like hugely focusing on all of these lovely thick chunky jumpers I could wear. That was in my head like what I'd be making, but since I've started knitting, I've really realized just how much you can do with knitting, which is why I think the obsession has like grown tenfold, and I just love it more and more, because the versatility of knitting is incredible, and I'm just making pieces that I never thought I would be able to make. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think this will kind of show you. It's a little bit hard to see, but this is the Anna top by kisskiss.rhinestones, and I've knitted it up in Cardiff Cashmere in the shade Cosmo. Yarn was also purchased at Beautiful Knitters. They are such a beautiful yarn shop in London if you ever get the chance to go. Actually, all of the ones I've been to in London have been really good, but I do keep going back to Beautiful Knitters. I really like their selection of yarn. They're so nice in there. But actually, that reminds me, when I bought this yarn, I don't know if you know, if some of you watch Woozy by Celine on YouTube, but she was working in Beautiful Knitters on that day, and I got to meet her, and I went so red when I met her because I was not expecting it. I was not ready. Like, I literally just went into my, also sorry, I'm not even looking at the camera, I've just realized, but yeah, I met Woozy by Celine as I was buying the yarn for this top, and she was so nice, and I was so embarrassing, but it's totally fine. Yeah, Cardiff Cashmere, Cosmo, purchased at Beautiful Knitters, and this is exactly what I was talking about in terms of being able to like knit up things I never thought I'd be able to knit, because when I first got into knitting, I didn't think I would be making like beautiful cashmere tops like this, and let me tell you, when I wear this I feel so good. It is so soft, it's surprisingly warm for it being, I mean, I guess it's not surprising because it's cashmere, but I didn't expect to be able to wear it this time of year. I wore it to a birthday party last week in November, which I know isn't the coldest of the months yet, but yeah, did not expect to be able to wear this, and I did, and it was so great. It's got these really lovely, you probably can't see that because of the lighting, but it's got lovely garter stitch edges, and it's just such a nice detail. It's really, really lovely. And the back, it's basically you can wear it the other way around as well, but I had to sew on all of these hook and eye closures, which honestly took a while to figure out how to do, and I've probably not even done the best job still, but it's totally functional, and you can't tell because you sew it on the wrong side, so no one's gonna see it anyway. But definitely one of my favorite things that I've knitted to this day. And again, this is not easy to show you, but it's just a sleeveless top with a turtle neck, and now I have this lovely top. I'm so sorry if the filming of this is weird. I am concerned I'm not gonna like it because of how I'm sitting with a dog behind me, but it's fine. The next thing I have to show you, my final finished object, is this scarf that I knitted. It is the scarf number 4. I don't know if you can see the details on that, like I basically wanted to do a little scarf because I wanted something to keep me warm. I also want to do mittens. This is like, it's got more of a pattern to it, which I would actually still highly recommend anyone who is a beginner to do as well, because it really wasn't difficult to do. But it's just a really lovely scarf. I also knitted this up in Knitting for Olive Merino and Soft Silk Mohair in the colour Bordeaux. I actually accidentally knitted this up on the wrong size needle. The pattern calls for 3.5mm needles, but I was planning on sizing up to 3.75mm needles, but I accidentally used 3.25mm needles, and I was kind of wondering why it's folding up on itself. Like, it's just a little bit tighter than I wanted to be, but it's so fine. Like, once I realized I didn't dislike it enough to want to redo the whole scarf, so I've just left it as it is, because it's really nice. I just wanted something nice to wear under like a coat. It's not too bulky. It just keeps me nice and warm, and this is exactly what that is. It does. It just keeps me so warm. I think I've just realized I can start knitting myself practical things as well. That's kind of all I have to say about this beautiful scarf. It's just a really nice addition to my wardrobe, and I think when you're knitting, I'll show you what I've been working on, but when you're knitting more long-standing projects, it's nice to just get something done in a few days. So that is the last finished object, and now I'm going to be moving on to whips, and I'll get started with the whips. So this is not done in any particular order, but my first one, this is what I tend to take with me on the go, because it's not really anything to do or remember at this point. Like, I don't need to keep referring to the pattern, essentially. And this is the Mixture of Cami by Florence Miller. I think I've shown this in a couple of my videos now, if you have seen any of the other ones, and it's getting there. I'm knitting this up in the Knitting for Olive Merino again. I just realised how many projects I'm using the Knitting for Olive Merino. But it's really, really nice wool, and most importantly to me, it's like ethically sourced and everything. So yeah, this is the Knitting for Olive Merino in cream. I started working on this in July. I was hoping to have it done this summer, which has already passed, but I definitely didn't appreciate how long it would take knitting things up on fingering, like using fingering weight yarn, and I think these are three millimeter needles, yeah. So didn't appreciate how long that was going to take, but I'm really loving the results. Like, I'm really loving how it's looking, and it'll be done in time for next summer, I'm sure. But like I said, you know, I've been taking it with me when I've been going traveling, or just on my way to and from work, or anytime I get on public transportation, basically, because at this point I'm just knitting it in the round and following, you just like work the pattern as it comes. This is my second ball of yarn. I have a third. I don't know if I'm going to need to use it. I guess it depends how long I end up wanting this to be. Yeah, I'm definitely still going to keep on going though, because it's not long enough. I keep thinking, oh, it's a good length, and then I try it on and it just isn't as long as I ever think it is. So yeah, I've just been working on it, but I'm really excited to have this finished. It's gorgeous, isn't it? But I've just been slowly working on it. I think like there's no pressure to, if I'm enjoying something, there's no pressure to get things done, and most of my other projects aren't really suitable for taking out and about with me, so I'm glad I just have this one. The next thing I want to show you, so I've got 5 widths, this is the second one. This is a cardigan I'm knitting for my dad. It's quite big. This is the step-by-step cardigan by Florence Miller, and did I mention the mixed rib cami is also Florence Miller? Don't know if I'm remembering to say who the patterns are by, but yeah, this is the step-by-step cardigan. My dad turned 60 this year and his birthday's already gone by, but I said I would knit him a cardigan, and it's just taken longer than expected, but he doesn't care when it's ready, but you know, he just wants it. And yeah, I think I've talked about this in a previous video as well, but I'm holding Isager Alpaca I with Isager Aran tweed. I can't remember the exact shape. It's coming along really nicely though, and it's been quite a quick knit because it's knitted up on 5.5mm needles. My issue with it, nothing to do with the pattern or the process or anything, it's just that because I don't live with my dad and I want it to be perfect, I am just knitting it and then getting him to try it on. So I kind of have to take breaks every time I hit a crucial stage. So once I finished the yoke, I needed to wait to get him to try it on before I wanted to knit down, because there's no point if he had quite a specific thing that he wanted, so he didn't want it to be too baggy, but also he is a 6 foot man, he's a 6 foot tall man, so I'm not really used to knitting for things, I'm not used to knitting things for people who aren't me, and yeah, I just couldn't figure out what size to knit him. So according to his measurements, he was just one size bigger than me, and I was like, that doesn't sound right, but it has been right. I think it's because it's because my gauge is slightly bigger than what Florence Miller recommends. So I think she just holds an aran weight yarn, whereas I'm doing aran weight and lace weight yarn, so it's just coming up a little bit bigger. And I saw other people use this exact yarn combo, but they sized down their needles, but I didn't want to do that because I didn't want a more stiff fabric. I did a swatch and I really liked how this was behaving and how it looked. I think I'm knitting him the third size, but so obviously I've just been doubting myself at every stage and just need to keep getting him to try it on, and that's basically been it. And right now, the length, if this was for me, this would be long enough, but he wants it quite long, so yeah, but it's hard because I don't want to do loads of the length and because even though it's easy to do, it's time consuming. that's been the hold up. He's not even in the country right now, so I can't get him to try it on, but it's fine. I'm enjoying it, and I've got so many other things to work on. I do think I'm going to make it a little bit longer though, because I did check in with him a few days ago and he said he would like it to go past his hips, and this doesn't go past my hips yet, and he's taller than me, so I was like, that's fine. But there is also going to be ribbing towards the end, so yeah, not as straightforward as it seems, but I've been having fun. I have another Florence Miller project that I started, and I've done like quite a lot of work on, but haven't made progress on it in a while, and it's the Petal drop socks. So I just really enjoy knitting socks. I had to take the needles off for another project, which I've now frogged because it wasn't working. I'm going to reattempt that later down the line, but since taking the needles off, I've just not put them back on, and therefore haven't worked on them. But I've just, yeah, I've been working on other things, and it's fine. But I have knitted this up in, it's like the West Yorkshire Spinners sock yarn, and I've just seen a lot of people say it's really good, so I wanted to knit up a pair of socks in this. So far it feels really nice. It doesn't feel like the softest, but what I've noticed about the really soft sock yarns is that they pill and don't look as good for as long. And she had a video which goes with the sock pattern. I think that's what like really sold me on it, was I just knew I could get help if I needed it. I'm sure I'll pick this up again soon, but for now I've been working on my dad's cardigan. His birthday was 2 months ago, so I feel like that has definitely taken priority. I'll show you what else I've been working on. This is my longest standing whip, and I'm kind of embarrassed at how long this has taken me, but I'll kind of explain what it is and what's going on with it. So when I first started knitting, I bought like wool in the gang kits, and if you don't know what they are, they basically sell you these like knitting kits, or they've got other fibre arts as well, but I was only interested in the knitting ones, and they sell these kits that have the pattern, the yarn, and like the needle, so everything you need to make the project comes in that little kit. And I think for me that felt a lot less overwhelming than having to go out and buy yarn and pick a pattern and get needles. It's just like it was very overwhelming to me, and these kits are definitely like what enabled me to start knitting. But the construction of this, and I guess just like my skill level, I think once I got more into knitting, I wasn't enjoying this so much, but it's really nice, so I need to just get this done. And basically this is just the Good For You cardigan. It's all knitted flat and then seamed together, and then yeah, got like a ribbed collar, and basically it's just like a bunch of pieces right now because I haven't worked on this since the start of the year, which is so embarrassing. But I don't know if you can see, but I just got into my head that it didn't look very good, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's not a big deal, especially because it's navy. But I was looking at this the other day, and I was just like, okay, well, am I gonna frog the whole thing and just start again? And I was like, honestly, no. And I was like, will I wear this? Yes, honestly, yes. Something that has happened to me during my knitting journey is I'm so much less precious, and I don't need everything to be perfect anymore. I think part of the beauty of knitting is that it doesn't need to look like a machine has made it. Like, you know, if you are so good at knitting and it looks like a machine has made it, like that's so great. I'm very, very jealous, because I know a couple of people who are just really good at knitting, and that's just what their knitting looks like. But for me, I don't really mind like having my pieces look like I made them. especially because I still think it's super impressive. But yeah, the way this was made was, I believe I just like knitted the back panel and then the two front panels, so it's not seamed together, so I can kind of show you. Two front panels, there's like a bit of shaping. I've like seamed the front and the back panels together. I've picked up stitches to do this ribbed collar. I've done the button band. I've done so much of it. I've done one sleeve. I just have one sleeve to go, and I've just not done it. So I am basically refusing to let me start anything for myself until this is done. So hopefully when I film my next knitting podcast, this is done and I can show you what it looks like, because I love the colour. I love the shape of the cardigan. I think it's gonna be really great. I just need to get it done. This is knitted up in the Alpachino Merino in navy, and it's really soft. It's honestly not scratchy at all. I don't know, but I've not worn it yet, so I don't know how well it wears. Whereas I can say the knitting for Olive Merino and soft silk mohair wears really, really well, because I've worn that, like my Robinson wrap cardigan, so many times. Anyway, tangent. I will now also talk about my last work in progress, which I literally just started 2 days ago, and it's for my dog. I am knitting my dog her first jumper from me. She has other jumpers, but I've never made her a jumper before. And I saw this really cute dog jumper pattern. It's called the Maya dog sweater. It's just the cutest jumper I've ever seen. So I've bought the yarn to make her own fuzzy pink jumper, and I've just started it. This is just the collar so far. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. And I'm knitting it up in Peer Gynt by Sandnes Garn. I'll have the details down below because I can't remember the exact shade right now, but so far it's going really well, I think. It's kind of small, but she said that the collar in her experience is a bit that stretches the most over time, and to be honest, my dog has a really tiny head and quite a small neck, so I think she's fine. But I just don't really like putting things that are too tight around her neck, because she does not like that. We rehomed her, and when we got her, she just hated having things around her neck. Like, she has, yeah, no collars for her, just harnesses. Hopefully she loves her cute little pink fuzzy jumper. I will show you the rest of the yarn, which I don't currently have with me, but I will go get it. And this is the yarn I'm gonna hold it with. It's just the exact yarn that she uses in the pattern, and my fiance picked the colors. He just wanted a pink jumper for her. So this is the Wow Fluffy by Katia, but it's just this fuzzy pink yarn. I'm gonna hold it with this, and I'm very excited. Hopefully this doesn't take too long, and I'm gonna have something to show you next knitting podcast. I don't know how often I'm gonna do these knitting podcasts, because I don't know how quickly I'm gonna get through things, but hopefully next month. Next month, that's insane. The next one will probably be after Christmas. Last thing to talk about is acquisitions, and honestly I don't really have any acquisitions. I guess these two are very recent acquisitions, but I think it was my previous video, but I recently bought a lot of yarn just because of birthday, trip to Norway, and general yarn buying. I've ended up with a lot of yarn, and I'm very happy with what I've got, because I've got my next like 3 or 4 projects lined up, and I just don't need any more yarn currently. I guess my only acquisition is a pattern, and this is the Future Milf hoodie pattern, and my lovely friend got this for me for my birthday. That's now on my list of things to make. I don't have the yarn for it yet. I've been looking at a lot of hand-dyed yarns, which is very expensive, but I just really enjoy knitting with really good quality and really beautiful yarn. Because I'm not the quickest knitter, I kind of feel like I can afford to buy more expensive yarns because, you know, it takes me a couple of months to do things most of the time, and yeah. So I'm gonna see what yarn I end up getting, and I'm sure I will share it with you guys. And that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun filming this and just talking about everything that I'm working on. I think it's just also really fun to see everything, and now I'm also like, I need to finish that cardigan before I next see you because it's too embarrassing not to. So I'm very happy that I did this and I got to talk about things that I love. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.